Yo, 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 what is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Galaxy podcast, presented to you by DSM Media, as well as your host, myself, Captain Slim. You can follow me on X at R2R30111. You can follow your other host here, Scotty Drown. And as you can see by the title today, Giannis and his agent shakes up the NBA. We got some very interesting news revolving around the Greek Freak, but we will get into that, as well as the Clippers release CP3, LeBron, so on and so forth, talking about the Atlanta Hawks. Before we dive into any topics, my guy, Scotty, how you doing this fine Wednesday evening, my brother?
Happy Hump Day, my brother Slim.
Okay.
I'm doing pretty good. You helping me finish my day right here, bro. Setting the vibe straight. It's been a busy ass Wednesday for me at work, so I'm happy to get on here, kind of relax, shoot the shit, and just talk some hoops finally. But no, we got some interesting, some funny topics today, bro. I feel like it's gonna be a funny and fun conversation between us today and some of these topics, especially LeBron and the Clippers. It feels like we always talking about them, but I don't know if it's for the right reasons today, which makes it fun. So cheers, brother. Happy Wednesday, man.
It's a happy Wednesday, my brother. So shall we kick this thing off, talk about Bronny boy over there, man? I say we should. So what today is? Wednesday? Well, so that was Monday night? Or was that Sunday? One of the two. Was not too long ago, but anyway, chat. So they was facing against the Phoenix Suns, and long story short, the Suns got the best of them. Despite Devin Booker going out with a groin injury in the first quarter, the Suns did not let up. But the fact of the matter is, during the game, they was down pretty big. I think it was like the third quarter, maybe the fourth. And LeBron was down there talking to the Phoenix Suns bench, just laughing it up, just dapping up, giggling, chopping it up with those guys. And JJ Redick was trying to get his attention. I guess he didn't hear him. He even called a timeout. This still didn't work. He was calling his name, and LeBron was just still down there doing his thing, like not paying nobody no mind, like as if a timeout was not even called for real. But just want to kind of like dive into that. Like, do you think that what actually happened in the video is just more so a frustration thing from LeBron, or is it just his personality, like his MO, like it's all about me in the sense, like I don't listen to nobody? Or how do you read that situation, bro?
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously we know how long LeBron has been in the league. We know the success that LeBron's had, the multitude of teammates that LeBron has had throughout his career. And I think the even more interesting dynamic to this situation is that he and JJ do a podcast together. So there's a level of respect that comes with hosting a show and spending time with somebody else on a program, right? So we know that they have that mutual level of respect of each other's basketball minds. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, though, when it comes to situations like this where LeBron isn't hearing his coach? He's just hearing his other podcast hosts, right? Like his guy. So I do wonder, when shit hits the fan, if shit ever does hit the fan for this team, what that dynamic looks like, how it works. Maybe it just coincides. Maybe JJ can easily get over that, right? How that looks to the public. It's not maybe that big of a deal, but it is at the same time when it comes down to respect, discipline as a head coach in a professional program. So it's interesting nonetheless, looking at the situation. But to answer your question about LeBron, because LeBron is a piece of the situation that I just think this is his personality, bro. And this is the way I've felt throughout watching LeBron's career transpire. It's been throughout, most of my years watching the NBA as a fan. And I've never viewed him in the same competitive light as those of like Kobe Bryant for my era and Michael Jordan for the era before mine. And that's just another level of competitiveness that I see come out of those guys, especially looking back and watching film and watching the different games and history. But, just remembering the way Kobe would yell at teammates sometimes, and that can be taken as selfish or me as well. But I don't know. I view that as wanting your teammates to be better, wanting the best for them. And with LeBron, I don't know if I've ever seen that in his game and leadership style. I guess I've always kind of questioned LeBron as a leader throughout his career. He has always had arguably the most talent of any NBA player that has come through the league. That's why he's considered one of the GOATs, right? But I don't know. I think if he had that extra edge, there would be no conversation about him and Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, right? And these different, and not just those guys, but those are the guys that come to my mind when we argue GOATs. Why are you able to put Michael Jordan up there with LeBron with all the accolades that LeBron has? Like all of the statistics, everything.
Yeah.
Is his personality, right? Like it's his approach. And I think this incident fed right into that, man. What about you? How do you feel about it?
I feel like, bro, it's just one of those scenarios. It's like you can kind of hear it, like from the outside looking in, like it is. Maybe we just thinking too much of the situation. Yeah. But it's like also LeBron. These guys have been rolling before you came back, and it's like now you're getting back, acclimating the offense, being back around those guys. In my humble opinion, that's just not a good look. You're already down. There isn't much to discuss. You know, it's not like you got any history with any of those guys on the bench over there. Like for a prime example, I watched the Dallas and Lakers game last weekend. After the game, LeBron he went and dapped Max Christie up, D-Lo, Kyrie Irving, AD.
Makes sense.
All those guys after the game because you have history with those guys. You won a championship with two of those guys.
Yeah,
Kyrie too, if I didn't say his name, but. You know, you get the picture here. Why are you doing this with guys you really don't just have a strong bond relationship with? You know, instead of talking to those guys, you shouldn't even be out there, honestly, in my opinion. But I definitely think it's something to kind of look at. Like, how does that affect the guys around you?
Yeah.
You know, you've seen the way Austin Reed's been playing before he got there. Even though he's still doing his thing, but it's just not a good look, in my opinion. And also, to correct you, they did a podcast. It's actually LeBron and Steve Nash.
They doing it now.
Yeah, so JJ Redick is not.
He dropped out of it.
Yeah, he's just the head coach now. So
got you.
That's just my take.
Nonetheless, you know what I mean, though. Coming from doing a podcast with and building that relationship through it, they obviously have a mutual level of respect. But you know, how far does that go? Head coach player dynamic. Obviously, LeBron's age, his stature. I guess you could say that with any head coach at this point. Like, how are they measuring against a guy that's been in the league 25 plus years, right? So, looking at that situation, man, I do feel you. It may not be fair to zone in on it like that, but it is funny nonetheless. LeBron doing LeBron things, you know. Is it his farewell tour? Is that what he's, you know, talking about over there? Who knows? Guess we'll see how the season plays out.
Yeah. But that's enough about LeBron, man. Moving over to the Atlanta Hawks, bro. Like, this is a team that, you know, I'd say their record, they're better than what their record shows. So my thing is to you, like, do you think that this team is slept on or just inconsistent? In a sense, like, do you think that, you know, they're 13-9 right now. Do you think that that's the way the media is not discussing them enough? Is that valid because of their record, or is it just a team that should kind of get more light, you know, bring upon them?
It's interesting, right? Because, like you said, are they just inconsistent? What are they really? I think within the Eastern Conference scope, yeah, they're interesting. I think they can make some noise. They could potentially make the playoffs. 7th in the East right now. They're 6-4 in their last 10. I think the big thing is just the kind of arrival of some of their players, obviously starting with Jalen Johnson and what he's been able to do this season. The real question that comes to mind when I start to think about the Hawks, what level of player is Jalen Johnson? What is his ceiling? Is he an all-star level player? Is that where he's capped? Is he a superstar level player? Can he get to a higher level of play? And, you know, it's just interesting looking at his last 2 seasons specifically, the 20-plus point output, the rebounding, the playmaking is especially interesting. And then the next thing that comes to mind, man, is Trae Young. He's obviously out right now with a knee injury. He's going to be out the next 2 weeks, going to be reevaluated at that point. if they continue to win games without Trae Young, is he on the move? Is he the next guy on the trade block? If they if they continue to win games without Trae Young, do you start to think about the style of play that you play with when Trae Young comes back? Is that a fit moving forward? Do you want to take the ball out of Jalen Johnson's hands and not give him the opportunity to do what he's doing right now? So it's all interesting. They need to build, to your point, some consistency before we start moving mountains for the Atlanta Hawks. But yeah, I think in the Eastern Conference they can compete.
Yeah. I'd say this though, like Jalen Johnson averaging 23, 10, and 7 and shooting 41% from 3-point range. This is a guy before he went down with his injury last year. I had him being an all-star. Just the way he started the year off, doing what he's doing now. It's not a surprise to me because he was on the same type of timing last year. And then on top of that, man, the kid Alexander Walker is giving them around 20 points per game, nearly 40% from 3-point range. For him to kind of take that leap, as a scorer, averaging 20, it says a lot. He's taking advantage of the opportunity with Trae Young being out the rotation, or out the lineup as a whole. And then Kristaps, man, I got to give him some love too. Like, he's been more available often than not, I'd say. I'd say he played more games than he's missed this season, so that's a plus. And then they're currently 13-9, like I mentioned, the 7th seed in the East, and they have some quality wins this season. They beat the Cavs, they beat the Lakers, so on and so forth. But you is right. We definitely want to get too ahead of ourselves, but I do kind of feel like they can get shown just a little bit more love. Just when you look at what they're doing without their best player, Trae Young, they're standing in the mix of things.
Is he their best player?
That's a good question, but we're going to say that he's the franchise player.
That's fair. Yeah, I feel that. But yeah, to answer my own question, I do not think he's the best. I think Jalen Johnson's the best player on the team, and I think you start to think about Trae Young as a defensive liability because right now Dyson Daniels is getting those minutes. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is getting those minutes, and he's excelling. You really start to think about Trae Young and what he is as a player and if this team is a fit around him. But I feel you. It is a team to keep an eye on. I think even when you think about some of the younger guys, Risa Shea, I mentioned Dyson Daniels, even Muhammad Gay off the bench, he's been impressive in his time. They got some guys, that can go up from here, right? They can improve throughout the season as well. So definitely, to your point, a team to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah. So, sliding over to a very interesting topic. Late last night, man, the Los Angeles Clippers decided to waive or dismiss Chris Paul of his duties. Reports say that Ty Lue refused to meet with him. Team label CP3 is too vocal, too negative, aka couldn't handle the truth. Season record, terrible start. This is for sure is a deeper issue than they're making it seem. They are the 14th seed in the West. Their record is 5-16, and that kind of says it all right there. But talk to me, man. Like, what are your thoughts on this situation, bro? Like,
it's interesting with CP3 because on one end you think about what was his role with this team overall. Was it going to be mostly a minimal role with this team? But me and you discussed it before the show. He obviously brings a particular level of experience, leadership, command on a roster. But he is playing with James Harden. I bet he was. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just look at this team, and I bet you are yelling with where they are in the standings. So if he was loud, if he was disruptive, I think all is fair when you're 11th in the Western Conference and you have all of this money invested in this roster between Beal, Kawhi, Harden, brought in Brook Lopez. He's, not doing much for this team. The big thing here with the Clippers, man, the reason that they're struggling, you just got to look at the age of their roster. They have no energy bringers on a night-to-night basis to get them through a regular season. And I think they're struggling. Even with Kawhi, he's been back the last, I think, 5-6 games. They've lost 5 straight. So it's not even just getting Kawhi back. It's not as simple as that. So to your point, I think CP3 was probably on to something. If he's a smart man, get your ass out of there on your farewell tour, go to a contender. and try to make an impact again. I don't think he's looking for significant playing time right now. I don't know that he's looking for a significant role other than just be a leadership and hopefully watch his team compete at the highest level. So
yeah,
Clippers, man, shit show.
And I say like Chris Paul, like I start to wonder though, did Ty Lue and the coaching staff promise him some minutes too before the season started, because he hasn't been getting a lot of playing time either though. But honestly though, you hit it on the head, bro. Like this is a very older team, you know, that's set in their ways. We talked about before we went live. Like I'm gonna name these guys. You got James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Brook Lopez, Chris Dunn, Derrick Jones Jr., Nicholas Batum, Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal, he's out. Chris Paul's on the team. John Collins is a veteran now. So you get the point here. There's a lot of vets on the team. They have a few young guys. For the most part, the vets, Chris Dunn as well. For the most part, the vets is cracking the rotation. And you mentioned that, like, even when Kawhi came back, they still lost 5 straight. It's crazy because if you look at Kawhi numbers, he's still, like he's shooting 51% from the field, 44% from 3-point range, and 96% from the free throw line, while averaging 26 points per game.
Yeah,
I mean, like that says a whole lot right there, but it's not translating to anything. So
it's not translating to wins. It might speak to how tough the Western Conference really is. Maybe that is part of the issue. I haven't had a chance to look at their early schedule this year to see if it is mostly Western Conference teams, but. You know, you look at some of these East teams, are they better than the Clippers? I'm not so confident in that, but they'll end up looking better than the Clippers because they're not in the West. So it's an interesting thought there, too.
They only won 5 games to start the year up. And I was saying earlier, you said it was the 11th seed. They're actually the 14th seed in the Western Conference. They're 5-16. So that's the 14th seed in the West.
Yeah, you're right. I was tripping. For some reason in my head, I had like 12 teams in each conference. Yeah, you're right. 15 teams in each conference. So, second to last in the conference was my point. So, but good catch there. I want to see what they are in conference here. They're 4-9 in conference, and they're 5-16 overall. So 4 of their 5 wins have come in conference. Maybe that's not a good point, but I think the age is the biggest thing, man, on a night-to-night basis. You look at, to your point, Bogdanovic, Kawhi, Batum, Harden, Lopez, all 32 years old and above, and those are obviously big pieces within your rotation. So I don't know how it gets better for them. You know, like the CP3 thing, like whatever, he wasn't contributing much. You know, there's no plus minus there. You're not losing or gaining anything. But do you move on from some of the, like, if it gets too bad, if you're still 14th in the West, come January, end of January or so, do you move off of Kawhi? Do you move off of Harden if possible? Like, can you? I don't know. These guys are old too. What do you get in return? They've given up like all of their draft compensation. Like it is.
It depends scary. On like what you're looking to get back in return. But I feel like if come trade deadline, I feel like them and Sacramento's in the same boat. You got to make some shake here, get some of that money off your books, and just look ahead. But it's going to be very interesting to see like what this means for the Clippers moving forward, man. For sure.
What's their future like? If you move on from Harden, I guess that's the point. And you move on from a Harden or a Kawhi, maybe a Zubac, and maybe you get like a young piece in return and just focus on that, man. But it's a scary season for the Clippers out west, man.
Yeah, for sure it is. But enough with that bullshit, man. Look at the Clippers, man. But moving over to some news that just dropped like recently, like a couple hours ago, man. Giannis future talks with the Bucks, man. Giannis and his agent having a conversation with the Bucks, man, opening discussion about his future. So Giannis told him before the season, prove that you're serious. The Bucks started pretty slow, but for the most part, they look okay. But then they went on a losing streak, and so like you just start to wonder, like, what does this mean for Giannis' future? Because he wants them to prove that they're a contender in a sense. Because when you look at that roster, You just go down the list and it's like, man, can this team actually do anything?
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, no, they cannot. Like Ryan Rollins, he has had a breakout year. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
Kyle
the one
Kuzma.
bright spot. Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle Kuzma has looked a lot better since before he arrived here. Miles Turner sucks. No better way to put it. Bobby Portis not doing nothing too amazing. AJ Green, he's been pretty solid, but that's just not enough to contend with teams like Cleveland, New York. I mean, it's just not enough. So in saying that, man, what are your thoughts on a potential Giannis move like this season at that? Like, it could be very interesting. Like, what are your thoughts on Giannis potentially being on the move?
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense from Giannis's perspective. Why would he want to stay here, especially with the way they've constructed this roster? Why trade Drew Holiday? Why go out and trade for Kyle Kuzma? I mean, there's so many question marks with some of the moves they made. You come out of this offseason, the big acquisitions, Miles Turner and Cole Anthony, and you just start to look back on everything if you're Giannis Antetokounmpo and you think, like, why do I deserve this? Like, why do I have these decisions made on the roster around me? And from that standpoint, there's going to be a lot of takers that are willing to give up the farm for Giannis to go and compete at a high level. So, yeah, I think it makes a ton of sense for Giannis. And for Milwaukee at this point, man, you're not winning anything with Giannis because you haven't been able to put the right things around him. You may as well try to get the most you can for Giannis before he makes it ugly or forces his way out, whatever the case may be, where this could turn into an even more sour situation for Milwaukee. I get it. It would be hard to let go of Giannis because you don't know what comes next. And obviously he brought a championship to the Bucks and to Milwaukee, and that's a huge deal. We know what he means to them, but if you try to hold on to him too long, you know how these things work out. It never works out in the team's favor. You won't get what you're supposed to for him. So just get ahead of it. Honestly, get ahead of it, move him now, and hopefully you get, the farm in return. But yeah, this team, Kyle Kuzma averaged 4 rebounds. Like, how? 4 rebounds? Like, Kyle Kuzma can't get more than 4 rebounds? That's effort, man. Like, it's little shit like that. You look at this roster, gross. You add, like, Drew Holiday, who I just mentioned, who competes at the highest level, even at his old age, plays with values, you know what I mean? And look at what they have around Giannis now. Kevin Porter Jr., Miles Turner, and, just ridiculous. But, what obtains Giannis is my question, man. Like, what gets you Giannis? Like, I think of it, obviously, from a Sixers fan perspective, I would be willing to move off of anything other than Maxey. But what does it look like? I think they can get something better than what the Sixers can offer outside of Maxey, just to be clear. But just using my own fandom as an example, there's going to be a lot of teams. Is Houston willing to – I don't even know, man. Like, are you willing to give up Ahmed Thompson and put Giannis next to AD? I don't know. I'm not saying there's obviously plenty of options out there, but I think we could see some crazy shit when it comes to Giannis and the level of player he is, for sure.
Yeah. No, you're right, bro. Man, so many great talking points. You're right about that, though. Kyle Kuzma, though, like, you can definitely get more rebounds than that, because when you said that, my mind instantly went to a guy like Josh Hart. He was averaging nearly 8 rebounds a game. He's like 6'4". So I'm saying that. Also, I thought about Jaren Jackson Jr. He's sorry. Like, please do not take the over on this dude when it comes down to rebounding. Please.
Oh, you fell victim, huh?
No, I know better. Okay. No, heck no. Heck no. I know better, bro. No, I know better, but
because my man might foul out in the second quarter.
Yeah, that's another good point. Yeah, he fouls out and he does not rebound, bro. He's tall for nothing, But all great talking points, though. But if I'm New York, though,
yeah,
anybody besides Brunson and Cat, I'm going to get Giannis. That's the guy that's gonna put us over the hump. Seriously, bro, he can do it.
Do they have draft picks?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I doubt it, because they gave up a lot to get Mikal
Bridges. Because obviously you would put Mikal in that deal. You would put OG in that deal.
Ooh.
I just don't know.
Okay.
I think you would have to do Cat in order to have a chance at getting it to New York.
My thing is, if we do that, it's like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, Giannis is the better player. It just
fit
the stretch big perspective. It's hard to go out there and get a center that can shoot the way Cat does.
I feel you. Next to Mitchell Robinson,
yeah,
you know,
that's what I'm saying. That's just a better, dynamic, like big three, Brunson, Giannis, and Cat. But I
do feel you.
I thought about Minnesota though. They got some players they can move around down there to make it happen.
They should have some draft picks because that would be the big thing for me if I'm Milwaukee specifically. Now, if Giannis, demands to go somewhere, it's going to be hard to not send him to where he wants to go. But if I'm Milwaukee, I want them draft picks, man. Like I want a future out at after Giannis, and I'm not sure if Minnesota has picks or not. I feel like they haven't done anything to where they would lose picks. Miami Heat, Knicks could get Giannis. Giannis, be honest, Bucks not winning shit.
Hey, Miami. It's a lot of good. Like Miami, Toronto could be an underrated landing spot for him.
Toronto, out of all of them that you've named, that one sticks out to me the most, man, which is weird.
Toronto.
It's like, why would Giannis want to go there, though?
But how much? But see, here's the thing, though. This is why I say they got to come to a mutual agreement because Milwaukee, they gonna want what they want. Giannis, he want to go somewhere he wants to win a title at. So it's like, hypothetically speaking here, we can end this conversation off like that.
Yeah.
Your Sixers, what are you willing to give up to get Greek? Or what's your idea of trade package to get somebody like him?
Yeah. I mean, what I would give up, let's take a look here. I would give them their choice, bro, because you're going to have to trade one of these guys if you're the Sixers to make the money work. It would have to be Paul George or Embiid. Which one do you want? Take that contract. That's not the part that the Milwaukee Bucks want, right? But it's the part they have to take to make it work. Then maybe it's VJ, McCain, a PG. Let's just say Paul George because I don't see teams taking a risk on Embiid with his health. PG, McCain, VJ, and 2 first-round picks, 3 first-round picks.
I guess it depends on what direction they're trying to get in. Because if they just trying to get draft capital and stuff, they might mess around and trade Giannis to Brooklyn. If they're just trying to get draft capital.
Yeah, it's to Brooklyn, right? But maybe Giannis would be open to that. You put young pieces, it would probably still look better than Milwaukee. Like in Brooklyn. Like I'm not even trying to be funny. Like it would probably still look better than Milwaukee or what they could ultimately shape their roster into.
Because then they still have cap space they can
exactly.
That makes a ton of
build
sense.
the team around him in Brooklyn. Now that he has his Mecca in New York, right? But I don't know, man. Like I don't know. VJ McCain, 2-3 first-round picks. That sounds like a nice deal. I don't know if that's enough for Giannis. I think you have to have. But who is giving up? Like I don't know. What. Who's going to be the team that does something crazy? That's what it's going to come down to. A Houston willing to give up an Amen Thompson and something else and draft picks for Giannis. I'm not saying that is what I would do. I'm just saying it's like something crazy like that. Like the Mavs package AD and Cooper Flag for Giannis. Or
that would be nice.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I know those ideas don't sound realistic. Detroit. What about Detroit?
The Lakers, Luka, Giannis. You trade LeBron?
LeBron ain't going to Milwaukee. No, you know what I mean? Like he's not with that. And Detroit is interesting. They're at the top of the East. that they obviously would want to go for it. You have guys like Tobias Harris you could throw in to make
the
money work and shit.
Isaiah Stewart. Yeah,
but I would want Jalen Duren.
I think he should definitely stay in the East though, because coming out West, bro, unless you teaming up with Jokic or going to OKC, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a great point, Slim. Maybe it's a topic for another show, another day. Is everyone playing for second place in the NBA in general? Like in the Eastern Conference, like, yeah, maybe this team or that team can have success. I don't know that any team from the Eastern Conference is ever going to compete with OKC.
No. I think Denver could get them a run for their money.
They could.
They could, because Cam Johnson has been starting to come along lately, but
we haven't even seen this OKC team with J-Dub like in full throttle yet. You know what I mean? Like, that's my worry. But no, you're right. There's a few teams in the West that can compete at a high level with them. But in the East, I don't really see anyone, man.
Yeah, I agree. It's fun doing these type of things like this, bro. But nah, man, close the show out though, bro.
Yes, sir.
The weekly Who You Guys segment is simple as this. Who is more legit, man? The Toronto Raptors in the East or the Atlanta Hawks in the East? Who's more legit? In your humble opinion, sir.
These teams are very similar. As far as like where they are in my eyes, as far as their development of their young players, so on and so forth. I think when you look at the Raptors, you get excited with the top end talent. I just wonder if it's as good a fit as the Atlanta Hawks are together right now and the way they're playing. And I do wonder if, the star players on the Toronto Raptors, for example, can be as efficient or as effective as Jalen Johnson has looked throughout the last 2 seasons, bro. Because to your point, he has just taken his game to another level. I kind of like the Hawks more, just fit-wise between their key players. The Raptors, it still just looks a little clunky for me between RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes. But
nah, we're going to Toronto on this, bro. I'm not finna let you talk about my young Raptors like this. You mentioned efficiency. My guy Scotty Barnes is shooting 51% from the field. You mentioned efficiency. My guy RJ Barrett is shooting 50% from the field. So these guys are gelling well. RJ's giving you 19 a game. BI 21, Scotty Barnes 20. They feeding off each other pretty well, and they're doing their thing. So, in saying that, I think that the Toronto Raptors are more legit than the Atlanta Hawks. And I'm going to tell you another reason, bro. Just look at it from this perspective. What does the Hawks look like when Trae Young gets back? Because he's going to come back at some point.
They're going to trade him
during this
for
season.
A nice, impactful piece.
Okay. When he gets back, they're still going to be playing the same brand of basketball, run the offense through Jalen Johnson, let him initiate the offense and play make, letting Nickeil Alexander-Walker do his thing. It's a lot of question marks. Meanwhile, on the other hand, this is going to be the Raptors roster. Like, these guys.
Yeah, but to your point about efficiency, bro, those numbers are going to come down. That's just my wholehearted belief. Looking at these numbers, Scotty Barnes, he's shot good from 3 before in his career. I don't believe in that. Believe in him as a pure shooter.
He's more motivated now.
We'll see.
He's more motivated now, and it shows. He's shooting.
Hawks are trading Trae Young. They're going to get 2 nice pieces in return for him, and they'll be even better than they were before he returned from injury.
That's crazy, though, bro. But before we get up out of here, I'm going to say this. But you're supposed to be a Duke fan, though. But you're not showing RJ or Brandon Ingram no love. Get out of here.
Because Jalen Johnson's better.
Yeah, okay. Remember, it's a team sport.
It is. But I'm just looking at BI, right? BI, Brandon Ingram's the leading scorer, 21 points per game.
Okay.
6 rebounds, 4 assists. Jalen Johnson averaged 7 assists.
That's cool.
7 assists as a forward.
That's cool, though. But game on the line, you want to get a ball, too. Brandon Ingram. And with that being said, we up out of here, chat. Make sure you follow Galaxy Podcast on YouTube and on X. Follow the page so you won't miss any more of this great content moving forward. Follow us on TikTok at NBA to the Galaxy Pod. Follow us both on X at myself at R2R30111 and follow your other host here, Scotty Join. As you can see, he's a very, 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 very interesting fella. And yeah, we will try to potentially link up again the end of the week or for
Yes,
sure
sir.
next week. So, in saying that, you got anything else you want to say, Brad? Before we get
Jalen Johnson over Bi. Definitely. Yes.
It's
We're
easy to
taking
say that
Jalen
now, though,
Johnson over
chat. It's easy to say that now. With that being said, we out.
B.I.
Happy
Peace,
Wednesday.
everybody. Till next time.